SMK Sultan Abu Bakar. The first speaker who will act as the Prime Minister, Ms. Christina Nadia Zulkarnain. The second speaker, Ms. Leo Joanne. And the third speaker is Ms. Noor Aisha Arina binti Sulaiman. The reply speech will be given by Christina Nadia Zulkarnain. On my left, who acts as the opposition, the opposition leader is Mr. Kiru Baharan, anak lelaki Mutusami. The second speaker is Muhammad Faiz bin Muhammad Lokman. And the third speaker is Mr. Navin Vinosh Vanadran. The reply speech will be given by Muhammad Faiz bin Muhammad Lokman. Ladies and gentlemen, the following are the rules and regulations of the debate. Marks will be awarded based on the following: substance, 30 points; strategy, 30 points; style, 20 points; and language, 20 points, which adds up to 100 points. For the reply speech, 15 points will be given for substance, 15 for style, 10 for strategy, and 10 for language, which makes our total of 50 points. The time allocated for each speaker is as follows: 7 minutes for each speaker, for the first speaker to debate the motion, and 5 minutes for the second and third speaker, and also for the reply speech. Now, as for the bell, it will be rung once after the first minute and at the end of the 7 minutes. At the end of the 7 minutes, the bell will ring twice to mark the end of the duration allowed for the speaker to present his or her arguments. During the reply speech, the bell will ring once at the first minute and at the 4th minute to signal that the time is up. The adjudicators will ignore any points raised when the stipulated time is up. Now, without further ado, the 2013 Cyberspace ICT debate will now commence. I repeat, the motion for today's debate reads: this House believes that cyberspace isolates people more than connects them. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to call upon the first speaker from the government team, Christina Nadia Zulkarnain, to present her speech.
This man.
A very good morning, I bid, Madam Speaker, trustworthy timekeepers, honorable educators, worthy opponents of the opposition team, fellow comrades of the government team, and members of this very august House. Now, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to begin by defining today's motion. This House believes that cyberspace isolates people more than connects them, so that everyone understands the clear picture. Ladies and gentlemen, we of the government team define cyberspace as the electronic medium of computer networks and isolates as to be careful, to be cut off from others. We also define connects as adjoining. Ladies and gentlemen, we of the government team, we fully support today's motion simply because we believe that it isolates individuals from reliable interaction. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to now introduce the members of the government team. As the first speaker, I will be talking about the illusion of being connected. My second speaker will be talking about information and knowledge on cyberspace, about how it does not help people to be truly connected. She will also be talking about how it robs people of the real connection in the real world. And last but not least, my third speaker will rebut and rectify all the flimsy and faulty points set forth by the opposition team. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to now begin on my one and only point, which is the illusion of being connected. Ladies and gentlemen, cyberspace is things like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all that. You might think that it's a real connection, there's somehow a real connection there, but ladies and gentlemen, there is no real connection there. There might be a slight connection there, but the isolation that it leads to is much more bigger than the connection that is available. The broader picture is that the isolation is more than the connection that somehow occurs. Let's, for example, ladies and gentlemen, you're talking to your friend, you're chatting with them on Facebook and all. Say you meet that same person in real life. Can you really have the same type of conversation that you have on Facebook to them in real life? Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to provide you with a scenario. Okay, let's say you're going out to have dinner and all, and then you see a family. This family, they're sitting together, they're all at one table. Exactly, sir.
What if you can still communicate in both real life and Facebook? Does it still mean that isolation is more than connection through cyberspace?
Ladies and gentlemen, the motion today says that cyberspace isolates people more than it connects them, and we as the government team, we fully agree with that. The cyberspace, yes, it does, the connection does occur, but the isolation is more, ladies and gentlemen. As I was saying, the family, you see a family having dinner, but all of them are on their cell phones. Maybe they're texting, maybe they're surfing the web or anything. And then this is not, they are not connecting with each other, ladies and gentlemen. They are not. The sad thing is, ladies and gentlemen, this is such a normal occurrence that when we see it, we don't even feel shocked. We see it on such a daily basis that it's not even a surprise to us anymore. We're not weirded out by it. Ladies and gentlemen, the family members are simply deluding themselves. What they tell, ladies and gentlemen, what they are doing is they are deluding themselves. They tell themselves, oh, we're going out as a family, we're going to have dinner together, we're going to eat together, interact with each other. But no, ladies and gentlemen, it does not occur. Ladies and gentlemen, if this kind of isolation can happen between a family unit, then what else in society? Your family members are people that you have known your whole life. Accepted, sir.
Do you have any proof on how cyberspace affects this? This cause of not sharing your feelings with family members can be caused by other things too. How does cyberspace affect it?
Ladies and gentlemen, when you are on cyberspace, you naturally have more freedom to talk, but that freedom might cause you to misjudge your family members. The people in your family, you have known them your whole life. What else people in society? If you can't even connect with the people in your family, what else the people in society? People you barely know, people you have never met. Another story is from this girl, Carly Brooks. She's from the Braden River High School from Florida. She told the story of how she went to meet her friend at a cafe while she was still texting on her phone. She was walking to the cafe. She was still on her phone. She sat down at a table, still on her phone. When the waiter came to order, she looked up and her friend was sitting right in front of her, ladies and gentlemen. She did not lift her head up one moment, from the moment she sat down till the moment the waiter came, ladies and gentlemen. She did not realize that the very friend she was waiting for was right in front of her. Ladies and gentlemen, you might think this is a funny story, and yes, I admit it is slightly funny and all. But it's a very serious condition, ladies and gentlemen. It has affected the people around us. It has affected so many of us already, and yet we don't realize it. It's an illusion, ladies and gentlemen. We are being blinded by an illusion. We are surrounded by the veil of illusion. Ladies and gentlemen, with my points now done, allow me to once again reaffirm our stand that we of the government team fully support today's motion. This House believes that cyberspace isolates people more than connects them, simply because we believe that it isolates individuals from reliable interaction. And with that, I thank you.
My vision, okay, now my own vision looks okay. In this vision, it looks different. My hand is more okay than yours. 2 to 7 minutes. Let's pick out the house first. I thought you could do that. You could see the vision of the camera too, because I just did it like that. Yeah, want to cut right, you just put up there. Oh, you see everyone. Yeah,
Thank you, Ms. Christina Nadia. You have heard the argument raised by the first speaker from the government team. Now let me invite the leader of the opposition team, the first speaker, to deliver his speech.
A very good morning to Madam Speaker, distinguished adjudicators, misguided members of the government side, my opposition comrades, and members of the House. Today's motion of cyberspace isolates people more than connects them must fall because the efficiency in connecting through cyberspace is undeniable. This is a stand that we as the opposition are taking in today's debate. Before going into my contention and the case of the opposition, I would like to first rebut the first speaker of the government side. Their first point fell under the key phrase of illusion of being connected. She went on and on about saying that isolation is more and more and more, but did not prove at all that how it's more than connection, and did not prove, as what my third speaker POI, how cyberspace affects that isolation. And she gave a lot of examples with family members. Ladies and gentlemen, you're with your family members 24/7 at your house. Why more do you need to connect with them through cyberspace? You can still connect with other people. And she clearly defined.
POI, please.
Yes, ma'am.
If you can't connect with your family, how do you expect yourself to connect with society?
wow.
Ma'am,
It's
connect
people.
with family. We can actually connect with family because we know our parents better. Therefore, we can connect our family. Therefore, with cyberspace helps us to connect with other people, with finding more friends. And she clearly defined cyberspace as the electronic medium of computers, but went on talking about phones. I'm now clear that they are confused with their own definitions here. And now moving on to the definitions, we basically accept the definitions, but we like to further specify the definitions here. Cyberspace refers to the electronic medium of computer networks in which online communication takes place. Isolates refers to detach or separate so as to make them be alone. And connects refers to link, unite, and establish communications between two or more parties. With the rebuttals and definitions out of the way, I would like to introduce our roles for the day. As the first speaker of the opposition, I've already rebutted the first speaker of the government and will produce an argument which falls under the key phrase of superior medium to communicate. My second speaker will then put forth another two more alternate contentions, which are first, connects the world, and second, gives more opportunities to contact and communicate. My third speaker will then do what he does best, which is to rebut all the arguments of the government and prove that this motion should never be passed. We also like to remind the government that we are not here to debate the harms and benefits of cyberspace, but rather will debate on whether cyberspace isolates or connects people more. With that out of the way, I would like to go to my first contention, which is superior medium to communicate. Ladies and gentlemen, all of us know about cyberspace, which is basically internet, and no doubt it's superior because it's so good and it's well known globally. And there are a few reasons of why it's a superior medium of communication. And the reasons are as follows. First, it's simply cheaper. Let's say our parents are going to get in touch with their son or daughter that are studying in overseas or abroad. Rather than calling them using phones and end up crying that their credit is going low, they can just use cyberspace to get in touch through Facebook or email. And this example can also be applied in business, where businessmen nearly call or make international calls every day, and they can use cyberspace to get in touch or make these international calls rather than using phone, because cyberspace is much more cheaper. The second reason is just it's faster. To explain this, I'll use an example. Let's say you want to advertise the product of your company. Take cyberspace out of the equation. The next best thing to do is to distribute flyers or paste posters on the wall. Now, put cyberspace back into the equation. You can just put online ads where a lot more people can see it, thus increasing the productivity of your company, and it's faster, that doesn't waste your time. And the third reason, that's just easier. It just takes a flip of a switch and the one button, just the on button, to on the computer and connect to the internet. But it's just the same interactions in real life. Yes, ma'am?
Connecting has something to do with human touch.
Doesn't mean connecting, ma'am. Connecting doesn't mean that human touch. You go touch with people, yeah, I connect with them. No. Without communication, just go and touch someone, yeah, I connect with you. It doesn't make any sense. You need to communicate with them. And next, and it's easier. Why is interactions in real life is tough? Simply because when you want to meet with a person or you want to hang out with them, you first need to ask if they're free, and then discuss the time and venue, and then only see whether you can really go for the hangout, which just makes that using cyberspace, it's just simply easier where you can just chat with them without meeting in real life. And the second part, and another part of my contention is insignificant difference. Ladies and gentlemen, despite not having tones or body language when you're interacting using cyberspace, where you can use the tones and body language and body gestures, facial expressions in real life, you can still use emoticons, you can still use smileys, you can still use exclamation marks and emphasize on certain words by making it capital letters to expose or to convey the true emotion behind your idea, which is what matters the most. And even if we are about to argue with that, saying that you cannot show your face, you cannot show your voice, there is still advancement of technology with Skype, where there are video calls, where you can use your own voice, you can see them, you can show tones and body language.
Yep.
With all the this insignificant difference and the superiority of cyberspace really fusion together, improving that cyberspace does connect people more than isolate them. With that, I as the first speaker of the opposition, like to reaffirm our stand, which is we totally disagree with the motion of cyberspace isolates people more than connects them, because the efficiency of connecting through cyberspace is undeniable. Thank you.
Okay.
What the thing that he added earlier. That was cool.
You want it? Listen, give me that two.
Oh yeah, too.
Thank you, Mr. Kuru Baharan, anak lelaki Mutusami. The government team will now present the argument. Please welcome the second speaker of the government team, Ms. Leon Jo Ang.
A very good morning I bid to Madam Speaker, efficient timekeeper, honorable adjudicators, worthy opponent of the opposition team, comrades of the government bench, and members of this very august house. Today, we as the government fully support the motion today. This house believes that cyberspace isolates people more than connects them. Simply because it isolates individuals from reliable interaction. Before I begin my points, allow me to rebut the first speaker's points. Ladies and gentlemen, connection means it has something to do with human touch. If you use social media, you don't even know whether the user use expressions to just send their feelings for you. It's just plain words. Thank you. Now, let me move to my first point, which is information and knowledge on cyberspace does not help people to be truly connected. Well, ladies and gentlemen, so how much do you think that information and knowledge will help you in real life?
Teacher, if
Let me
they
give you
ask
an
you why
example.
and it's denied, does that count
Imagine
as
you're a football
like giving to
player
one?
in the virtual world. You're
Not
a
marks.
professional and experienced football player. But ladies and gentlemen, how can you think that in real life you can be as good as that in the virtual world and the reality? It's very different, ladies and gentlemen. It's just like friends in social networks. You can be friends, but you can never be truly real friends in real life. Other than that, virtual games, you can just say one word, which is yo,
Can we
what's
for
up,
40 super
hi,
things?
and all these words, it doesn't show any feelings to other people. It's meaningless, ladies and gentlemen, meaningless. Now, let me move on to my second point, which is it robs people of real connection in the real world. Now, ladies and gentlemen, whatever that happens on the cyberspace is hardly true. Let me give you another example based on a true story. In Jackson, Mississippi, a mother let her baby in the bathtub. She wanted to bath the baby, and while waiting for the water to run, she played her Farmville game. And she got so focused on this game, which is not even real, and she totally forgotten about her baby. So in the end, the baby died. It's her fault.
Your Honor,
Yes.
this is an isolated case. Could you give any other instances where the same thing happened as a cause of cyberspace?
Okay then. Okay. So there's another case of the babies. The parents were in a social media Skyping with someone, and they left their 3-year-old baby on the bed. And the baby wanted to get down on the bed, and it said got stuck on the bed. And it tried to cry, but the parents didn't even do anything. In the end, it died, just like the baby from the bathtub. Now let me continue on with my point.
That's a lie.
She was so focused on the game that was not even real. And the baby died, thanks to her.
Don't watch Harry Potter, do you? Fact it.
So
Watch
do
Harry
you think
Potter.
that cyberspace connects people more than isolate? It isolates people more than connects them, ladies and gentlemen. Why don't you just agree with us? Because it's true.
This is a repeat, those kind of questions.
So before I take my seat, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to reaffirm that we of the government fully support this motion. This is belief that isolates the cyberspace isolates people more than connects them. With that, I thank you.
And it's Yoshiki. Film them first. Oh, and then them first. Next. Then, yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Leong Joanne. I'll now call upon the second speaker from the opposition team to present his argument. Please give a hand to Muhammad Faiz bin Muhammad Uthman.
A very good morning. I would like to bid to the Madam Speaker of the House. Honorable